Alright, hello. Welcome to fucking Hearts of Iron 4. As you can see, it's modded. Definitely modded. I'm using the Road to 56 mod pack kind of thing with some of those little UI enhancement packs. So we'll see how this turns out. That was my little test game, so I'll delete that and we are going to jump right in as Iran. We're going to be playing as the new Persian Empire. So, what we need to do right off the bat here is set our national focus to urbanize the countryside. I believe is the best start to that. And why don't we get all of our infantry together under one banner. All of these guys, and they need to be new Persian well, why not just Persian? Persian Imperial Army. And why not him? And on top of that, we need our cavalry and our mountaineers, all in one banner as the Persian National Guard. Got no more generals, of course, but let's get them exercising as well and actually set their order to be garrisoning all of this. Apparently we need a lot more guys to do this. So we're gonna get probably, yeah, we're gonna get these guys moving up. We need some of these. There's like 10 of them. And we'll deploy them in Tehran. And we need 2 of these guys deploying in Tehran under the same banner. On top of that, these guys need to be working for, I think Kabul would be the greatest start, but Kabul, or Afghanistan really, but it's got a lot of mountains, so we're going to move toward Iran as soon as possible. What we need there is to, well, first off, get our army equipment set up and land doctrines as well. So these guys, yeah, infiltration in depth, additional containment, night assault tactics. I believe something about desert was in one of these. I don't know. Where is it? Organization and night attack, supply consumption. That's elastic defense. I don't know, but I'm gonna go for grand battle plan doctrine. Extensive planning and preparation before engaging in battle is the key to success. And we have this, the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. So that's gonna pretty much mean early game Britain is going to be asking for our oil, and we are going to say no, that's our oil, this is our land, get the fuck out. They're not your colony. Corrupt bureaucracy and judiciary, so we need to move toward that as soon as possible as well, but the judiciary reform needs at least 200,000 manpower in the field. So I guess what we could do there is, do we want Sarba's divisions or brigades? Here, let's actually get 2 and 3 going up over here in Kurdistan and Kazakhstan. These names are weird. I don't understand them. But want to have them immediately assigning to that army as soon as we have them deployed. And on top of that, we're going to get our civilian factories working on more civilian factories in Tehran and Gilan. I think actually Hamadan and Isfahan as well. To top all of that off, we probably need more infrastructure, but that's going to be done through national focuses soon. Let's get land forts up. Probably about 2 on all of these little border provinces with Iraq or Iraq, whatever you want to pronounce it as. And I mean, let's trade with the United States for some steel. Some steel would be nice. And we're going to start this off. So what do we got here? I got fog of war, day-night map, unit countries, or unit counters between all or players, countries or allegiance, battle plans for our allies, and fog of war, yeah. So, on top of that, what else do we have? Apparently, this is demilitarized zone, which they're probably going to stop soon. They have diplomatic effort going on. These guys have Arab Industrial Revolution going on. I'm not sure what most of this is, but I know that eventually Tibet is going to declare war on Bhutan, because that always happens in this game, always with this mod pack enabled. Ethiopia seems to be holding their own against these guys. They're going for the wrong national focuses, but that's fine. We can forgive them for that. If they actually come out of this war alive, that would be great, because we'd have an ally in the northern African states that could help us out against pretty much anything. On top of that, we have the United States here. I'm not sure if we'll ever be able to flip them to be fascist, but that would be great if we could. Early game, believe we need to get our national unity up, so the first thing that we go for before anything else is obviously going to be national character. We need one of these in here. Gives us, yeah, balanced approach gives us weekly national unity plus 0.2 per week. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's almost 1 national unity per month. And what we need that for is Revive the Empire requires more national unity than 65%. Currently we're at 55%. We only need 11 more to actually get up there. These guys have a big issue going on with the government, because there's currently a lot of reform going on in Iran. Not in real life. Please don't make this a political debate. If anyone more than the people that I have is my small subscriber count is actually watching this. So I'm going to take a quick drink of this here, and urbanize the countryside has been complete, so we'll double tap spacebar and set this down here. Urbanize the countryside. We got industrialize the north, which will give us some civilian factories, which will be great. That'll always be great. Apparently some little square-offs between the Chinese Soviet Republic and nationalist China coming on as the Republican and Nationalist Civil War goes on in Spain. Pretty interesting situation going on here, but we could get some different outcomes as we see here. The border war between the Chinese Soviet Republic and Nationalist China has stopped. I believe the Rhine has been remilitarized. There's Turkey with a demilitarized zone in Istanbul and Bursa, which will be interesting. I'm not sure if Greece is ever going to make the move on Turkey, but I'm sure if we can, they don't actually ever get That's an issue, I believe. So yeah, if at any point in the future a developer of this mod pack could, or like someone who watches this video could put in the word, Greece needs a thing to be able to like reform the empire of like Alexander, which will obviously start with moving into Turkey, which could easily cause some conflicts between Greece, Iran, Iraq, all of these guys, because they all have conflicting things going on. Iraq, it doesn't look like they're really going to go for it immediately, because the last time I tried this, they immediately went for unsupported monarch, a new kind of monarch, rise of the emperor, all of this stuff, and pretty much went for Turkey as soon as possible. But I don't think they're going to do that this time. They could actually end up going for into the monarch. Actually, never mind. They are getting, yeah, they're getting more popular with their fascism, so I doubt that that's going to happen. They're going to go for the empire stuff, but on top of all of this, we need to start researching a radar as soon as possible once we get that third slot. And probably after Iraq and Saudi Arabia, we're going to head for Afghanistan. Because Afghanistan is going to give us some manpower and probably military factories. And that'll help us in the war against Turkey. After Turkey, I don't know what the National Focus Tree has for us after that. We'll see. Turkey, rebuild the Royal Road. Oh yeah, we get to demand Syria from France. We get to revoke the Gulistan and Turkmenchay, which, gives us a claim on Armenia, Georgia, and Ashgabat. The road to Jerusalem, which gives us a claim on Jerusalem. And the United States, it could, or not states, but kingdom, it could actually end up with something going on. I don't know why this is, that makes no sense, because the way that water flows, I don't know. Education reform, though, we do need some of that after industrializing the South. So let's go for industrialization of the South. And Turkey currently, first 5-year development plan. The last game I had, they went straight in here and declared war on Bulgaria. It wasn't the greatest idea of theirs, but sure made things easier for me, I suppose. But at the same time, I ended up with a civil war that basically crushed me. Yeah, let's get this going on because we need some radar. So we're developing trench warfare, which is a thing that everyone else around the world has had for decades. Actually, Republican Spain's pulling through right now. This could end up very interesting. Very interesting. I've never seen this outcome. Because right now, nationalist Spain is being, I don't know, it looks like they're getting their ship pushed in even though they hold Madrid. And no, they're making the connection back to these guys in Extremadura. But it doesn't look promising for nationalist Spain. We'll come back and check on that later. I don't know what happened there. I just completely phased out and didn't look. But eventually, pretty soon, we're going to get the thing for the United Kingdom wants our oil. which will turn all of these 3 states into a demilitarized zone if we accept. However, we don't want that. We want those to be militarized so that we can push on in to Iraq. I want Iraq as soon as possible because in our national focus tree down here, if we go for government reform and then nationalism, we immediately get claim the Persian Gulf. If we get create a MIC, that should be changed to create an MIC. We get claim the Persian Gulf, which means more shit. Should we go for that? I don't know. More factories than 40. Let's get this. Create a MIC. Actually, no. We need to go down education reform, which grants lower research time. So that'll help us out a lot. And allow us to research things faster. It'll also lead us into possibly having this a lot easier, although this would also lead us into getting it faster. But it is kind of yeah, we get max factory in a state. Okay, so education reform, urban planning, establish Tehran University. And we go for create a MIC, down militarization efforts and militarization efforts 2. And we can go for modernize the Artesh, mass forces, standardized equipment. I believe that would be a good idea. Although at the same time, we got this, which is heavy tanks. Do we want light, medium, or heavy? I don't know. There's a lot of mountainous terrain, so I believe light tanks would be best. So at the same time, we're going to be pushing into Africa soon, probably. Once we have a war with the United Kingdom over Palestine and whatnot. And, yeah. It's going to be an issue. So, I think we probably want to head down heavy, because we're going to end up pushing through the United Kingdom, down here into South Africa. Probably against France too, is going to make something very, very big. And right now, Ethiopia is finally losing the war. They put up quite a fight. Republican Spain here pushing back against nationalist Spain again. There's apparently a good bit of divisions trapped right here in Extremadura. And the Republicans might actually push into Madrid after, but it would be best if they stopped these guys. They need to destroy those guys and get the troops surrounding here up in here. And then really push Madrid. Now it looks like they changed their capital to Zaragoza. And they're pushing toward Barcelona. They lost their capital. That's something very nice. But right now, I'm gonna have to cut the video short because I'm gonna run this to 20 minutes. I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. We're gonna Research Radio and continue this in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching yet again. This has been Hearts of Iron 4, the New Persian Empire playthrough with the Road to 56. What do we want here? Urban planning, I guess. Max Factories Estate. But thank you again so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And I will see you guys in the next video, where we hopefully continue our push down the national efforts tree. Peace.